Is talkTV's royal editor, Sarah Hewson. Thanks for coming back, Sarah. So the story remains the same. We're going to go back to the palace now. But going forward, how tough is, or how busy is life going to be for the remaining working royals? And we're talking about, obviously, William, obviously, Camilla. I'm thinking Anne as well, Edward. There aren't that many others, aren't there?
No, there aren't. Edward, Sophie, Anne, Camilla and William. Normally would have Kate in the mix as well, but she's not going to be back to duties until April. So it is going to be incredibly busy for them. They will postpone a lot of King Charles's engagements, but others, particularly some of the duties that he's not able to carry out that are timely, Prince William will pick those up. But we're not in a situation where we're going to be using the Councillors of State. So the King is still going to carry out his constitutional duties. He's still going to meet the Prime Minister every week, and he's going to try and do that in person unless the medical advice is that he shouldn't. There's a big difference between a one-to-one meeting with the Prime Minister at Buckingham Palace and, you know, walking into a room of 300 people or shaking hands with X number of people on a public engagement, because they will be concerned about his immune system.
But the audience with the Prime Minister, the function of that is still fulfilled via Zoom. So...
It can be. At the moment, they're suggesting it will still be done in person unless there's advice taken from the doctors that it's not. But because of COVID, they've now got systems in place where they can do those meetings via Zoom. Even the Privy Council can be done by video link if necessary, and was during that period of time when the Queen was in HMS bubble. So the King will still be able to carry out those duties even if he's not having face-to-face contact. But I think for the King himself, it will be extremely frustrating to have to stop. He has a remarkable work ethic. He wants to get things done. He's well aware that given his age at 75, coming to the throne later in his life, he doesn't have the kind of longevity of reign ahead of him that his mother has. He wants to get things done, and to have to step back now is going to be incredibly difficult.
I mean, we don't know at this stage how long the King's treatment might last, how long he may be out of action. With Kate, we have some idea. What sort of things, I mean, if the King is unable to perform public duties rather than just do those things remotely, what sort of things, as a Councillor of State, as the next in line for the throne, might William be expected to do in coming months? For instance, there would, of course, be things like the King's speech. If the King is absent, one would assume that would fall on William now to do that.
So if the monarch is unable to conduct those constitutional duties, we've seen it happen before, because in the latter part of the Queen's life, when she wasn't able to attend the state opening of Parliament, for example, the Prince of Wales, now the King, and Prince William took on that duty. So you would have two Councillors of State appointed, and they have to act in a pair in order to carry out those duties. But Buckingham Palace, very keen to insist that's not where we are at the moment. But the Councillors of State that we do have, Camilla, Prince William, Prince Edward, Princess Anne, also Andrew, Harry and Princess Beatrice, but it's known that non-working royals would not carry out those duties, so it would fall on the working members of the royal family, so the King's son and siblings.
We've been asking you, while the King battles cancer, should his sons, Prince William and Prince Harry, end their bitter feud? Do give us a call, 0344 499 1000, if you want to speak to us directly in the studio. We always enjoy that. You can text us on 87222 if you're feeling a little bit shyer. Remember to write the word talk before your text, or indeed you can tweet us on X, and the handle for that is @talkTV.
And indeed, your texts have been coming in on this issue. And Elizabeth says, if Harry promised to behave himself and kept his promise, then I'd say yes. But we all know Harry is not a man of his word, so what would be the point? Steve adds, it takes two sides to have a feud. Prince William has behaved impeccably in the public arena, despite the truly disgusting attacks being aimed at himself and his wife from the ghastly pair in Montecito. Well, we know where he stands.
Yeah, indeed. Melanie thinks Harry is happy to come back home so he can get some material for his new book. Such a shame, isn't it, that that's sort of where the general public are at now.
That's where they feel.
Can't blame them. Yeah. And Julia says, is it Julia Hartley-Burr messaging the show? Julia, go on, have a break. You can chill out.
This isn't Julia,
not
that's
Julia.
my guess.
I know, no, I'm guessing it's not. They should be by their father's side. But William has to be careful about Harry. We have not heard any apology from the Sussex squad. Well, sticking with our main story, and Prince Harry has arrived back in the United Kingdom from the United States after it was announced that his father, the King, is undergoing cancer treatment.
A statement from Buckingham Palace last night confirmed that while Charles has postponed all public duties, he will continue his weekly meetings with the Prime Minister. talkTV's correspondent Oliver Whitfield is outside the palace for us now. Ollie, well, I feel a bit idiotic asking you this. What is the latest? What do we know now?
The latest is Prince Harry's arrival back into the UK. The Sun newspaper has taken photographs of a vehicle believed to be containing Prince Harry after he got off that transatlantic overnight flight from Los Angeles, of course, coming pretty much as soon as he'd heard the news breaking about his father. We understand that it was both Prince Harry and Prince William who were amongst the first people to find out about that diagnosis. Also in attendance today, Princess Beatrice has been to see the King as well. All the while, it's understood that he is resting and recuperating. Back at home at Buckingham Palace, as the King refocuses his energies on his treatment for cancer. The announcement of King Charles's diagnosis came as a shock to the nation. Outside the palace gates this morning, a mixture of commuters, tourists and well-wishers shared their thoughts.
Well, it was a great shock to hear that. And we wish him all the best.
I wish him a speedy recovery. I like the idea that there's transparency between the people as well as the majesty.
I think it's really, really shocking, but at the same time, he's going to have the best care possible, and hopefully it gets more people talking, more people speaking about their own issues.
On the other side of the Victoria Memorial, a media village has sprung up, with broadcasters arriving from all over the world to report on the King's latest health struggle. It's not just in the UK, where the well-being of the royal family is big news.
Hello, welcome to Sunrise. Big day. You join us this hour for breaking news on the royal family from London. King Charles has been diagnosed with cancer.
This, of course, coming after a recent hospital stay, a procedure for benign prostate enlargement.
Storbritanniens kong Charles er I dag begyndt på en behandling af sin cancersygdom.
Despite the open announcement of the monarch's condition and the extensive media coverage, the palace still expects a level of privacy for the royal family. That's why, as things stand, we're not being told what type of cancer is affecting the King. Prince William and other senior royals are expected to stand in while King Charles undergoes treatment. While we won't be given a running commentary about his health, it's unlikely that interest in the matter will subside. And that interest will certainly continue tomorrow when Prince William will attend an investiture, will be leading the investiture at Windsor Palace. You can only imagine the people who are there, the amount of times that Prince William will be asked, how is your father? Is he okay? So that interest will certainly be staying. Here at Buckingham Palace, it's a very muted affair. There's been no real laying of flowers, no written messages or cards. And I think that's really in keeping with the tone of the announcement that we saw from Buckingham Palace officials yesterday. This is a monarch who wants to get on with the job at hand, and at the moment the most pressing job that he has is taking care of his health.